Elen Sila Lumen Omentielvo. Today I bring to you all the various regions of Middle-earth in the Third Age. Before I begin, first let me give you the criteria upon which I made this list. I am considering a region to be an area of space that is either made up of various different kingdoms and towns, or separated from other places by a mountain range or great river. Using this criteria, I came up with 11 distinct regions in Middle-earth in the Third Age. Going from west to east, the first region to talk about is the Kingdom of Lindon. I'm counting this as its own region because the Ered Luin separates it from the rest of Eriador, as well as the Gulf of Lune. Being just one kingdom, the region was inhabited solely by the elves from Lindon. Aside from that, Lindon was not all that dissimilar from Eriador. Eriador is the next region. Unlike Lindon, Eriador had several kingdoms within it, such as Arnor and her splinter kingdoms, and the Shire, with the Blue Mountain Halls along the Ered Luin, and Rivendell and Khazad-dûm in the Misty Mountains. Because of this, Eriador was inhabited by men, hobbits, elves, and dwarves, each with very distinct cultures. Spring and summer times were warm and hot depending on the time of year, and the falls and winters were cool and cold. Traveling north, there is the region of Forudwaith, or the Northern Wastes. This region was sparsely populated, with a few scattered villages of men. Forudwaith was a frozen wasteland, a legacy from the evils of Morgoth who dwelt in the north in the days before days. The region of Edenwaith lays just south of Eriador and west of the Misty Mountains. This land was also sparsely populated, with only one known realm being Dunland. The Dunlandine people were isolationists by nature, and never built any great cities in the land. Over the Misty Mountains are the Vales of Anduin. Within this region are the lands in the north, the Eotheod, settled in the mid-Third Age, the land of Rohan at the south, and Lothlorien in the middle. The region was thus populated with elves, men, ents, and some hobbit settlement by the Stores, who left the Shire. The region of Rovanion lies on the eastern side of the Anduin River. Here the kingdoms of Greenwood under Thranduil, Erebor, Dale, and the Iron Hills were, as well as Lake Town, the lodgings of the Beornings, and Sauron's domain in Dol Guldur. Many wars and battles were fought on these lands throughout the Third Age, often between Gondor and her allies and the Easterlings. Temperatures ranged from warm in the summer times to freezing in the winter in the north, and in the south hot during the summer and cool in the winter. The Kingdom of Gondor, by this list's standards, should be considered its own region, as it is separated by the rest of Middle-earth by the Sea of Belagar and the Ered Nimras. Despite only being one kingdom, there was the port of Ethelond, which is an elven port meant to take journeys onto Valinor, and the line of the princes of Dol Amroth were accounted to have been half-elven due to the union of Imrazor and Mithrelas. Mordor, too, can be considered its own region, as it is closed in by the Ethel Duath and the Ered Lithui. While it is the domain of Sauron and thus chiefly inhabited by orcs, there were many armies of Easterlings and Haradrim who camped within the borders of Mordor, and the land of Nurnen was populated by the slaves of Sauron. Rhûn was the vast unknown lands of the east where little is known. There were many tribes, cities, or kingdoms in Rhûn, as is seen in Gondor's many wars with the people of that land. But there were also dwarves from the Red Mountains who inhabited parts of Rhûn, as well as any of the Avari elves who survived up until that point in the world. Little else is known of Rhûn. Harad, or the Southlands of Middle-earth, have two regions, Near Harad and Far Harad. Near Harad is the region most in conflict with Gondor and the Free Peoples. The kingdom of Umbar lay in this region. However, many different Haradrim kingdoms there were during the War of the Ring. The Harad was a dry, desert-like climate, and as such, the culture was distinct and different from that of the West. And the last region on this list is Far Harad. Almost nothing is known of this place except that Sauron had some influence by the last years of the Third Age, as these Haradrim were seen in the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. The Haradrim in this region were described as trollmen, though whether they were actually half-trolls or simply very tall and bulky men is unknown, though the latter seems the most likely. And with that ends the list of the 11 regions in Middle-earth in the Third Age. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you agree that there are 11 distinct regions, or more, or less. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, feel free to like and subscribe for more content. Please let me know how I can better improve these videos. Thanks, and as the elves say, Namaste.